Hello and welcome once again to Superconnectivity. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser. And with me, not as always, is my lovely friend from down south, the brilliant, my arch nemesis,
Lube Hellfire! Hey guys, what's going on? I heard you're at episode 152. 52 being a DC number. I just had to stop by.
Of course. So glad you did. And of course, with me, as always, is the man who makes it all possible.
Rob Southgate. No, Phil Parrish.
Phil me in Parrish. And Lilith the Lunatic. And Charlie the Professor.
And I'm ready for my lecture.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, my computer died in the middle of Capes and Lunatics, and so I was about to give my thoughts on the passing of one Hugh Hefner, an icon of the publishing industry. I never met the man. My mom did once. Felt he was a bit of an ass, which I think is probably a good description of the man. That said, though, I do think it is fair to say, even if he was an unreconstructed perv, if you will, I don't want to call him a chauvinist because I don't think he was a chauvinist. I think he just really and enjoyed the idea of sexual liberation. And
well, at least 1 week, I don't know if you called him a feminist or you said he thought of himself as a feminist.
Oh yeah, he thought of himself
as a feminist. He said that on many occasions.
Many occasions, yeah. He thought of himself as a feminist, and you can argue that he was. He believed that there was, he believed that there was nothing intrinsically bad about women. That there's nothing there should not be a separate cultural norm for women than for men. And yes, that worked out in his advantage because he got to live in his pajamas with hundreds of women with daddy issues hanging around him in bikinis. But, for what it's worth, he didn't force anyone to do it, is what he would say. It's like nobody goes out and says, hey, do you want to pose naked for Playboy? Women came to Playboy and said, can I pose naked for you? With the exception of course, Marilyn Monroe, which is that to me is the creepiest part of the whole story, that he's being buried next to Marilyn Monroe, because of course he actually just bought those old Marilyn Monroe nudies from her, basically when she was desperate for cash and posed nude, and that's what built Playboy. And Marilyn Monroe became iconic with Playboy because of that. There is certainly a question that you would have in our modern age of celebrity skin as to, was that creepy? Now, granted, Marilyn Monroe did the nudie, and it was for a calendar, So, it was actually public nudes that she had done back in the day, back when she was Mary Jean Dougherty, and Hugh Hefner bought them because after she became famous, there was this effort to lock them away, and Hugh Hefner said, no, they're pictures to sell. So he sold them, and so there is actually a really huge amount of controversy in that actual founding of Playboy because of that. That said, as a defender of free speech, demand that there ain't right to freedom of expression in this country, and let the chips fall where they may. When you do express yourself, state should not be telling you what you can and cannot say. Now, we as an American society can react however we want to whatever you want to say. But, the right of a person to say that has to be sacrosanct, even when we disagree. And I do think that there will be an effort afoot by those of a more negative stance to claim Hugh Hefner as one of theirs, just because people on the left, a small number of people on the left, really hated the man because he did sell nudie mags. But I think far more people on the right hated him. And I think it's important that even though, yes, he was an ass and certainly had sketchy business practices, on
That's
some
America
levels,
for you, though.
Yeah, on some level, you have to respect what the man did do for defense of the rights of people to be free, to be in a free society, to be allowed to make their own choice about what society should be and not be bound by either cultural institution or historical precedent or legal morality to say you cannot be this, you cannot do this.
And then Larry Flint took the torch and ran with it.
Well, rolled with it anyway. Too soon.
Too soon? No, not too soon.
Too soon. Now, yeah, you know what you can always say about Larry Flint is he certainly made Hugh Hefner look classy.
Exactly.
You know, it's like you think Hugh Hefner? You know, Hugh Hefner is the Walt Disney of porn. It's very
True.
much, and it is very much always meant to be a porn that is about, you know, about women owning their sexuality, and that's how he felt. It's like, look, I do a magazine about women who are out and proud about being sexual beings. And
it's a lot more tasteful than Hustler. I'll give you that. Playboy is more tasteful than Hustler.
Yeah, a bathroom wall is more tasteful than Hustler.
But Charlie, I think you missed when your computer dropped out at the end of Capes and Lunatics there. We actually, our guest today has actually visited the Playboy Mansion.
It was
you have?
For my first job right out of college, I moved to LA. I was in PR, and it was like somebody wanted to like do a little small premiere there, and I got to see the grotto and the peacocks. And I learned that peacocks are mean and nasty creatures.
Yes, they are.
They chased me for a good half mile.
Yes. I hope you didn't go in the grotto because you do need to.
Yeah, I didn't go in there. I just wanted to look. Yeah, I'm not a fan
you got to
of,
get your penicillin after
public
that.
pools and
yes. No, peacocks are awful animals that are very pretty. But yeah, well, they're basically aggressive wild birds. You know, birds are very aggressive animals. Doesn't matter how pretty they are.
Also, when I lived in LA, there was like I don't know. It was like it's in the Woodland Hills. I don't know who had them, but somebody actually had them as pets, and they got loose and they started breeding out in the hills, and they like a pack for like I think it was like 2006 to 2008. There was like a pack of wild peacocks up in the LA hills. I hope they got rid of them. It was awful.
Yeah. Well, you know, and you know that thing they do with the big thing that's so beautiful? That's
actually aggression. Display.
Yeah. That's like, get away, man. I'm big and I got a sharp beak. So, yeah.
Yes. And I also thought that it was really interesting that he sold his the whole property and everything to the guy. And he said, you know, the condition was let me live here until I die. The guy had to wait about 8 years for that to happen.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good investment.
Well, yeah. Well, not for nothing. I mean, you know, and honestly, if you kick Hef out of the match, I mean, like I say, you know, he is an icon, and it's like Stan Lee.
Yeah,
it is very much like Stan Lee because when Stan Lee dies, there's going to be all these people who are like, oh, Stan Lee is this and Stan Lee is that, and he was the Edison of comic books. He stole all his brilliant ideas, which isn't necessarily true. Same thing for Edison too. I think Tesla was a hack. But yeah, the truth of it is that he probably did some unscrupulous things and was a businessman and made some choices that did not always care for those it hurt. But also the man revolutionized America in a way that, you know, he made it so that you could have a sexual revolution. Because what he did is he made porn fun. He said, let's have an openness about sexuality. I'm talking about Hugh Hefner, not Stanley right now. Although Stanley did other things too. And Stanley, hey, he posed for Playgirl, man. He was happy to have his Hulk on display.
No, that wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking, when is porn not fun?
Oh, well, no. But the thing is,
I think is what Charlie
was. He made porn not dirty.
Okay.
Because you could just read it for the articles, you know.
Those were some amazing articles. And this is what I'll always say. This is what I always say about Playboy. I respect Playboy because they do have fantastic articles. And to me, if you are a young man and you are reading a Playboy magazine, go read the articles. And then you start to associate intellectualism, deep thought, well-written fiction with naked women. To the point that nothing is a bigger turnoff to me than finding out someone is dumb. When you find out that, oh, you're dumb, okay, I don't find you that attractive anymore.
All right, I'll leave.
No. Well, I didn't say we can't be friends, Phil. I just say I'm not that sexually. Actually, Phil, I actually think you're a very smart man, and
Bold, thank you.
We only talk about comic books, and that's your wheelhouse. So, but to me, I credit that with Playboy. I credit that in my mind. To be beautiful, you have to be able to have an in-depth. You have to be able to talk like Jimmy Carter about world politics. Public intellectual was being interviewed that week. You've got to be able to present your story in a way that makes me know that you've given thought to what you do and who you are. And in that way, that is, again, why I don't think of Playboy necessarily as objectification. Because it really was about, who is this girl? What are her likes and her dislikes? What does she want to be? What is she studying at Caltech right now? And yes, those profiles might have been a little bit fictitious, but that doesn't matter because the story was, this is what a beautiful woman is. It's not just that she is beautiful. It is also that she is a person. She's a Virgo. She doesn't like it when you do this. That's a turnoff, man. The entire idea of turnoffs is something Hugh Hefner pioneered. Because men didn't know about turnoffs prior to Hugh Hefner. I'm going to tell you that right now. And this idea that you actually have to recognize this woman has a turnoff and a turn on that she's going to like, and there are things that you are going to do that you're going to dislike. And she is not just an object in your life. She is a person that you now have to interact with if you want to have any kind of relationship with her.
As someone with looks and brains, Lilith, is that correct?
No. No, it's very true. It's very true.
Yeah, Lilith is a real human being, as it turns out.
No, I just played one on this podcast. I actually just going to power down after we click out of here.
So even if you are a highly advanced AI, Lilith, I still think that you have some meaning in this world. Okay. So that's my thoughts on Hugh Hefner and the legacy of Playboy. I'm sorry, what?
Humans. I'm itching.
Okay. So I'm working on it, man. I got about 15 minutes left in that 2-hour endurance contest called Inhumans Season 1, Episode 1, and
Session 2, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, because it's premiering as one episode, as one continuous 2-hour episode, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm counting it as Episode 1. I mean, maybe
the next episode is 3, so I was just.
Oh, they are counting it.
Yeah, I think they're counting this as 1 and 2, so
it'll
get it done quicker. Charlie will get it done quicker.
Okay, so yeah. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I cannot believe that this is what we're getting instead of Agent Carter Season 3.
I agree.
I mean, Agent Carter, it always had its problems, but and here's what I'm going to say, just from a marketing stance, you're going into Captain Marvel 1980 soon, which we know has to have Peggy Carter in it. Because they did a casting call for women to play 60s,
Secretary.
hidden, but hidden figures types, women behind the scenes, the people doing the computators for the early space program. And, there is this thought that is more evidence that we're going to get Peggy Carter in this. And I'm looking forward to that. And the thing is, you could have that lead in from the Peggy Carter series. But instead they decided to go with Inhumans, which got too big for its britches, because IMAX decided this was all IMAX's fault. This is what I'm going to tell you.
It looked pretty.
Except I have to watch it on
those 2 episodes.
TV.
Hey, it looked pretty, but it had nothing inside, Charlie,
Yeah. Well, and actually, I said I really liked the art design. It's very Kirby referenced. I think it looks like something Kirby would have designed, and I like that about it. I don't like Medusa in a dress. Medusa wears, she wears a jumpsuit. I don't know why they couldn't put her in a jumpsuit. Also, I'm going to say this: Medusa is a thick woman. She's got big, strong legs. Kirby loved a woman with big, strong legs, and I worry this woman's a little too wispy for that. But I don't want to dwell on how miscast every actor is in this series.
Ooh, speaking of that, all I saw was Zatanna and Ramsay Bolton. Like I just couldn't separate it because it was just like the performance. I was like, well, if you're not going to give me who these characters are, you're just going to forever be Zatanna and Ramsay Bolton. Didn't get lost in the characters at all.
And for what it's worth, I think Ramsay Bolton is probably not a half bad Maximus. And there's just so many things. Yeah, I mean, I liked that they making Maximus really creepy is an interesting choice for Maximus, I think. Because I've never really felt that Maximus was ever about sex. I've never felt that Maximus's motivation was he didn't get the girl, and that's why he wants to take over Attilan.
Yeah, but do you think they went over the top with Maximus? Because, like you were talking about the racism of the other Inhumans, do you think they had to go over the top with Maximus just so they were like, okay, this is our bad guy? If you can't tell, this is our bad guy.
But you know what? I think you shouldn't be able to tell. I think it would have been a much better story if that wasn't his motivation in any way. Mm-hmm. I think it would have been great if his actual motivation was, to Medusa, we used to be tight, we used to be friends. And if it had actually been, no, we used to be friends, not, we used to be friends, and I gave you all of my good guy coins, and I never got to have, that really undermines the entire character.
I think it would have improved. It would have improved the story if they would have been subtle like that. But probably some suits in a room.
They said he should have been Ducky.
Don't do subtle. People won't get it.
No, he is Ducky. That's the problem. He should have been. He should not have been. He should have been. We are friends, or we were friends. We grew up together, and I know that your family didn't like this system. And now you're in charge of. Now you're defending this system. And had they made it, because here's the thing, Maximus could want to free Attilan just for power, just for self-aggrandizement, and that still makes him a villain. But you could actually make it much more subtle, much in the way that, quite frankly, they have been doing Maximus in the book of late, where they actually have been kind of saying, yeah, I'm a jerk, but I'm not a horrible jerk. I want to take over the world. I want to take over Attilan. But at the end of the day, I'm still an Inhuman, and we were all, I'm going to defend my people. I'm going to work with you guys. Yes, I'm a villain, but that doesn't make me a bad guy. And this villain is definitely a bad guy, and it's bad for the story. I mean,
I enjoyed the color palette of it. I do like the design, the production value, and the design of it. But that's just the first 2 episodes. The other 7 or 6 aren't in IMAX, so. I'm curious to see what happens to that.
Because I was going to say, IMAX, it was pretty. I'll give it that. I saw all the effects blown up real big, and yeah, everything looked fine.
You went to the movies to go see it?
Yeah, me and Luca went to see it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I saw that post.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is that can only take you so far.
Exactly.
You know, and honestly, what I'll tell you is having a beautiful scene with poor acting and bad writing.
Although that's what soap operas are built on. So
no, soap operas are built on relatively inexpensive sets, formulaic writing, but good acting.
Debatable.
Well, I don't think Susan Lucci is keeping that job for that many years if she can't actually cry on command.
And then there's Passions.
You know, but here's what I'll say. But you have an enjoyment about it because for whatever it is, the characters bring you into it. You know, it's formulaic writing. It's cheap writing maybe, but it doesn't mean it's either bad writing or bad acting. Because it works because people keep on watching it. People are tuning in. I don't think. Let me put it this way: if this was all they did for the Inhumans, and I still have no idea how it ends, I don't think I was going to be clamoring for the next Inhumans. You know, I don't think I'm going to be walking. I mean, Phil has to, because Phil actually paid money for this. Phil has that gambler's fallacy. I've already invested in this show. I've got to keep going on.
Come on, baby. Daddy needs a good show. Come on.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, I think having to pay for it, I think Phil wound up being much more forgiving of its flaws than those of us who basically felt obligated to watch it just to be a part of it.
Inhumans is such an interesting premise, specifically how they set this show up. And I just hope in the next couple episodes it's better execution than what I've heard the critics say.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. You know, I certainly felt that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got a bad rap its first season. I think the critics were too quick to... I think critics
took a while for it to pick up, though. 16 episodes.
No. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think that critics are very quick to tear down a Marvel property, just like they're very quick to build up a DC property.
Can I get the review sites that you're reading, please?
Anything for Suicide Squad.
Oh, that was all paid opposition. I'll give you that.
You know, Suicide Squad got all kinds of positive reviews, and it's not like it's a horrible movie. I would say Suicide Squad is about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. level good. You know, Agents
Season
of S.H.I.E.L.D.
one,
level.
You need to...
Yeah.
Because it gets so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
Charlie Esser.
I would say Suicide Squad is season one, and I liked season one of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I loved it. And I enjoyed... I enjoyed Suicide Squad a lot. You know, once I can always look past the casual racism of it because I can overlook casual racism. That's the advantage of being a white male.
But is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like like the Marvel Disney promo machine? Because didn't I see an article this week? They said they wanted to end it last season, and Disney was like, "No, don't end it."
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened.
That's the whole point of it. I thought.
Yeah, is that. You know,
we
don't want to keep.
Not.
Well, no, but the fact of the matter is, what that actually tells you is how committed Disney is to the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the connection of the overall. You know, because that's the thing. They could have killed it. It wouldn't have hurt their bottom line. It might have even helped their bottom line. But the fact of the matter is they said no. We are building a universe, and this is actually a really important part of it. You know, I know that we got these schmendricks who fight a lot, but the fact of the matter is, we finally gotten these artistic types to play nice together, and now we can move forward. And that is actually what I think is the one good redemptive idea in Inhumans. It's because if Attilan comes to Earth as a new Atlantis kind of concept. And I'm still waiting for Triton to meet up with Namor in the final episode. You know,
poor guy's gonna be so disappointed.
I know I'm gonna be disappointed. But although, dude, man, you do Blue Atlanteans and you get your immediate Kree tie-in, that could be cool, man. and you actually start opening up this idea with the Wakandans of these, super science worlds that have always been here, and you could actually get into this whole thing with, going to the UN, and you have the Inhuman delegation at the UN and all this kind of stuff. Wow. There could be, but there could be a lot you could do with this. And you can really finally have this big Marvel Comics world ready for Infinity War and all of this stuff, and I would love to see that. And they have said that basically they are going to do, they're now saying that there will be Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tie-ins to this. And,
they have,
because quite frankly, like I said, Inhumans got too big for its own britches. Well, we don't need Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That show's on the outs. We're the new thing. And it's like,
well, honestly, it shouldn't have been a movie franchise. It had. I don't feel like the budget is fair to the for it to be a TV show. I don't see. Here's my thing. I don't know if it makes it. I don't know if it works as a movie franchise either. I think that no matter how you slice it, the show, the problem with the show. I don't think Marvel was ready for Inhumans, but they're trying to compete with the mutants. But it's apples to oranges when it comes to Inhumans and mutants, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, exactly.
Inhumans, you're right. Inhumans should be a different thing than the X-Men. But when I saw this the first time in IMAX, I think I even told you, Charlie, I'm like, this just seemed like mutants on the moon to me, and that isn't what Inhumans should be.
Yeah, well, and like I said, and the way they've really presented it is bad, because you don't have anyone to root for, because you really can't root for the Inhuman royal family, because they're a freaking every worst thing about a royal family you could imagine. They're in a hierarchical structure.
Secret lizard eating baby eating people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unlike Wayne Corp, where they eat the babies right out in the open.
Isolationist, racist.
But the racism intrinsic in that, and for what it's worth, I guess, honestly, if it's anything else, what the problem with Inhumans is? It justifies every anti-Inhuman ever put forth on in Agents. Because it's like, what happens when Inhumans become too populous? They take over, and then we're all us normals are down in the mines. We work for them then, and it's like a bad message to send with this show. And I know these aren't stupid writers; they know this, and yet they do it. And it's like, I don't know how to describe it at that point. It's just like, what are you trying to do here?
Well, that's like they had the story elements to make a good story. Like we were saying, they should have been more subtle with Maximus, where at least part of your audience was like, was he so wrong? Because he even challenges Black Bolt in the beginning. He's like, well, why are you trying to bring more Inhumans here when we have a limited space in this dome? Why don't we go to Earth? Yeah, he wanted to conquer. That's bad, but he had an idea. Let's go to Earth where there's more room.
Well, you know what? If nothing else, if they went to Earth, the humans could go be humans somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have that basic problem of
exactly. They're not in the mines. Yeah,
exactly. And it's just it is painful how unthought out this show seems to be. You would think with this much budget and time, they actually could have come up with a decent
Harley,
script.
Just say it with me. Scott Buck. Just say it.
Who's Scott Buck? I don't know who that is.
He's the guy responsible for all this mess.
Oh.
He's the showrunner.
Oh, okay.
He was also the showrunner for Iron Fist, and he's messed up a few other things as well.
So what I will say is he has certainly made Iron Fist look so much better.
No.
So anytime we get a bad Marvel property like this, we could say we got bucked.
Yeah, yes. We got bucked.
We got bucked. Why did they give him this after Iron Fist?
That's the question.
What was someone who does he have compromising pictures on? That's what I want to know.
It's not even pictures. He's got a picture. He's got video of somebody eating a baby. I'm telling you.
It's got a picture of somebody eating something. Jeez.
I think that would have been a better show than this.
But wait, Charlie, I have to interrupt. I have to get your thoughts. You were worried about this. What were your thoughts on Black Bolt?
He's awful. He is just awful.
Like caricature awful, or what are your specific?
Okay.
The facial expressions.
First off, I hate him doing sign language, which is probably not even a sign language.
I was gonna say it's not even real sign language, is it? It's like their own made up.
It's like if you're going to have Black Bolt do sign language, you actually should have created a freaking Klingonese sign language. That
it did. I don't think it's good though.
Wasn't
it made up? I didn't think it was real, was it?
No, it's not. No, it's not real. It's because it's not a language. That's the thing. It's like if they said we need him to do something, they should have gotten someone in there to sort of say, okay, so here are standard signs throughout, sort of like what they did on Star Trek when Data had to learn sign language. And he had to learn a sign language from an alien race, and they actually had him create this whole system of sign language for him to do it. This was a Next Generation episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're going to have him do that, if you're going to commit to that and say we need him to have an actual way to communicate around, the way you do that is with an actual sign language. But every time he does a little hand thing, and does that, it ruins the character for me because, like I say, the character needs to be stoic, quiet, and everything needs to be. And for what it's worth, because I actually made fun of this. I recently binged the Good Place season 1.
Okay.
And there is this monk character in the first couple of episodes who's taken a vow of silence, and that guy should have been Black Bolt because he does express a lot but he also gets how you be a mute, which is you sit there and you don't make noise. You don't try to make noise. And this Black Bolt, he always looks like he just wants to scream and say, listen, people, I'm the king, and this is what I want to say. And it's like, no, that's not how you do it. That's not who Black Bolt is.
Okay, besides Medusa being in a dress and not a jumpsuit, what did you think about?
Oh, yeah, you were worried about Medusa's character. Yeah, what did you think?
Well, I haven't finished the final episode, so maybe she has something good happen. I thought the whole shaving of the head scene was totally bad. Because she's just sitting there while they're shaving her head. And yeah, I get they neuralized her and maybe her powers aren't working for a few minutes and all that kind of stuff. And you're right, Phil, the clippers were just stupid.
Yeah, like regular Earth clippers. I'm like, where the hell did they get those at?
Yeah, don't they have laser things or something?
Exactly.
And not for nothing. It's not like you actually had to shave her head. You actually just needed to, trim the back. And actually, for what it's worth, that was actually the one thing I really hated about her hair is her hair doesn't have any elasticity. And actually, Medusa's hair is supposed to be kind of like Mr. Fantastic, where it does have that stretching power.
Mm-hmm.
It can retract, it can go up, it can go down, and it can do all that. And her hair was just basically hair that moved. And yeah, the hair was the hair was bad from the start, and it ended poorly. And yeah,
they had to shave her head at that point.
I guess, and I don't know. It was just a weird way to.
I mean, if you have that much control over like your hair and stuff, wouldn't there be more pain involved in shaving the head?
Yeah. Well, she is crying, so maybe it was painful. And of course they really creeped out Maximus in that scene too. It was like, this is your fault. It's like, yeah, God, it was so. And I get the difficulty with Medusa's hair. I do. I'm not saying that, you know, the hair thing was going to be easy. But then again, you also said, let's do a film about Medusa.
Let's do a show about nothing.
No, that's Defenders.
Seinfeld.
And if you think about it, it is a show about nothing, Defenders. It is a show where it's like, we're just trying to get, we're really, all the Defenders, you know, are just trying to get out of the Chinese restaurant. That's really the whole thing. It's like, metaphorically, they just want to get out of this adventure. You know, like, stuff is happening, and they just want to go back to talking about, you know, they want to go, you know, and hey, that's Luke Cage just wants to go back to Pops's barbershop, you know. But yeah, you know, this is, you know, and then the dialogue is bad. Dialogue is so bad. And again, you get a scene where, you know, a few years ago, dragons came out of the sky. The moon, you must be mad, woman. You just stressed. It's like, you know, alien invasion. Hulk in Harlem. Black dude beating up another black dude, like, on YouTube. Lady, you know, Devils of Hell's Kitchen. It, you know, there is so much that, like, the suspension of disbelief of characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just ridiculous.
I know. That was one of my problems with Defenders. There's so much stuff that's going on in this universe already, and people are still like, "What? You have superpowers? Maybe there's magic? What?" It's like, you saw aliens drop from the sky. Exactly.
But here's what I'll say: going magic, dragons, that's crazy. I can actually get behind that in the fact that, you know, sure, random chemical spells, that gives you superpowers.
But magic?
Yeah, but magic, what is that? What is that even really? And of course, you know, you can do that whole Doctor Strange route, which is, yeah, it's all alien tech, you know? But the thing is, you know, and of course, let's not forget, dragons are actually aliens in the Marvel Universe. So all that stuff at the end.
Fin Fang Foom.
But no, but it is like the idea that there's something on the moon should be panicking to people. And it shouldn't be like, well, you're just crazy. That's ridiculous.
But none of our rovers are coming back.
I was gonna say,
problem.
y'all know we never went to the moon. Come on, be serious.
Oh, at Lil Hellfire.
Yeah, but I mean, really, it's just like that whole scene, and obviously this girl's an Inhuman, and she's got like some bracelet thing that I'm sure is like, it's my ancient. If they make her Ms. Marvel, I am going to be so mad.
I don't think so.
Ms. Marvel has these bracelets, and you like find out in a retcon that, or in like a later thing, that her bracelets are actually supposed to be something from, like, they came from India, and they're like, they are supposed to have the secrets of the stars we came from, kind of thing.
Men in Black. What now?
What?
The Men in Black movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Belt.
Yes. All right. Well, that was. Yes.
But, I mean, Marvel just has a big problem with Inhumans because, I mean, when your biggest cheerleader, Charlie Esser, who made excuses for Iron Fist, can't make excuses for Inhumans, you got a problem.
I can't. I really can't. It's like I said, what's his name? Finn is like, what is Finn's first name? Who plays Iron Fist?
Is it Finn Jones?
Oh, Finn Jones. Okay, yeah. Finn Jones is so happy not to be in the worst Marvel property anymore.
Inhumans, yes.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for actually making me look better.
Only about
maybe
like this much, though.
That's all he needed. He just needed to not be.
And some people are going to argue about it.
Especially the thing like we're almost right after him, you know, after Defenders. If it was like a year from now, people would still be like, but it's like right after Defenders, he's like, yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you know what? But Defenders was better.
Oh yes.
Than Iron Fist.
Oh yeah.
Because you know,
because you had all the other people and you had all the other characters.
You know, you had other, and you know what? And this has a bunch of other characters, some of whom might be interesting. I think Karnak has some interesting qualities. Gorgon.
A lot, yeah, Karnak, but I told you, Karnak, bit of a downer.
Actually, Karnak, I think, is like the one thing I think I actually honestly enjoyed. Especially in the sense that he knows something's wrong now that he's on Earth, that his powers aren't working right.
Mm-hmm.
That, and I don't wonder if that's going to tie into the idea of Inhumans can't live on Earth because of the pollution. You know, that was an issue in why Crystal had to go back to Adelant because pollution in the human world. And also I don't know what they're doing.
Shows allowed to be preachy. I don't think that they're allowed to be preachy.
I don't know. They get pretty preachy in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, you know what? For what it's worth, it's an interesting set of questions.
Oh, wait, the whole pollution thing. Didn't Reed Richards make like a potion or antidote for that?
Of course he did. That's
there's your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tie-in. Fitz and Simmons come up with potion.
Oh yeah, well that'd be great. You know. And certainly it would be so appropriate if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually what saves the Inhumans.
Literally and story-wise, yes.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll fix this right up. No, it's like I said, it is, you know, and I haven't finished it yet, and it's like I will slog through it, and I may. And come next episode, you know, and like I said, I got to, you know what I got to do is I got to try and watch it on my computer because my TV is dying again. You know, you spend $5 for a TV at a garage sale, you expect quality. And you
have to ease though, Charlie. So what did you expect?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've had it for a month, $5 for a month of TV after our old TV book, which lasted that TV actually lasted, I think, since 1998. My old TV, I think I had that TV for almost 20 years before it finally just gave up the ghost. And then, you know, I was worried we're not going to have any money to buy TVs. And then I said, well, I know I'll do this. So I can re-download the Optimum app. I can watch it on my computer. So I can watch next episode I'll watch live on my computer, and I'll hopefully have a better sense of it. You know, as it is, it's just like I said, right now, because I can see on the TV show, I can see what's going on, but it is just a little. I just don't have any excitement about the show. The surfer dudes were a little weird with Gorgon.
Yeah,
it's like you should get out of here. It's like, why, man? Who's afraid of a little fight? It's like, yeah. And I hope they don't all die in the last couple scenes of this.
You're talking to a dude with hooves for feet. Nothing good's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a donkey kick is the best case scenario at this point.
But you know, it is just. And again, that's a weird thing where like all the surfer dudes are like, "Oh yeah, you must be one of those Inhumans I read about," you know. But the scientist is like, "What? There's no way that a goof could be on the moon. You know, where our rover is mysteriously encountering an object it cannot see, even though stealth technology actually exists in our world. You know,
as long as it's not raining."
I was gonna run from these aliens from the moon, but then I got high.
Yeah. Well, you know, it is just yeah. But you know, when the surfer dudes are like, "Hey, this is our beach. Why should we leave?" And they're the most rational characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You have a problem with your Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Man, don't knock it. Point break.
Where did they get these guys from? The original Incredible Hulk TV show?
Huh? I don't get that.
I don't know. It's either, you know, people are like, I don't care, or have we tried killing them yet?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean
reactions you get.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, no. I thought, yeah. I don't know. You know,
I broke Charlie.
I'm trying to, well, you're trying to go back.
Power down.
You're trying to tie the original Incredible Hulk TV show to this abomination.
Your computer and you need plugged in. Your computer and you need plugged into the wall, Charlie. Come on.
Yeah. No. The original Incredible Hulk was actually a fantastic television show.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was live, but
and yes, people always had a hard time connecting the idea of Banner and the Hulk, but that was also because it was a world where a Hulk was the weirdest thing that existed.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Rogers once said, I liked it better when I was the weirdest thing science ever created. The reality is this is a world with Iron Men and Hulks and
aliens,
like actual bona fide aliens coming in on national television. Don't care if you were in Hawaii, you saw it. There was a whole cleanup response, and then the Dark World invaded England. Dark elves invaded, so we have had like 2 invasions, 1 major Hulk fight, and then the giant flying aircraft carrier crashed in DC.
Aliens abducting children in their classic rock music.
And all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s files got dumped, which means now Congress knows what a man-thing is. or wants to know what a man-thing is, at least.
And it all comes full circle.
It's the giant-sized man-thing.
Number 4.
But that's my point, It's like the idea of a scientist saying, there can't be something weird here, it's the moon.
And Eye of Agamotto, what are you talking about? That's ridiculous.
Well, hey, that's not made public yet, so you understand that. And everything that Doctor Strange did was in that mirror universe where, like what happens there doesn't happen in the real world. So,
that effect they paid so much for, they had to use it every 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
must
a
be
cool
what put me to
effect.
sleep.
I like that effect, but that's okay.
I mean, so did I, but don't use it every 20 minutes.
But that's where they use their magic. So and otherwise they're doing magic on Main Street. And that's not good, man. It's like,
hey, Chris Angel does it. Darren Chris does it.
Poorly, yes. He's no David Copperfield, okay?
I knew that was coming. Statue of Liberty disappeared. Top that.
You can't. You really can't.
Like the book, hate the magician.
And then Bill Bixby, the magician. Now there was a magician. That was actually his first superhero show before the Hulk.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was gonna say, he made a green guy appear twice a week. Yeah.
Yes, no. Actually, he was actually a big star when he did the Hulk, and carried that show for like 5 seasons. That was like his 3rd big network show. Going all the way back to My Favorite Martian. He was a star, man. He had star power. Actually, that was his 4th because he was on My Favorite Martian. Then he did Courtship of Betty's Father, which gave him his good dad bona fides, And then you had the Magician, which was his first action adventure show. Then he did the Hulk. And that is why Bill Bixby was a great actor. He could, because everyone knew you need a good actor. You get Bixby.
Not like these.
Better call Bixby.
Dig him up. Not like these darn Inhumans.
Yeah. Oh.
We've been booked. Let's just face it.
Yeah. No, we've been booked. It's bucked. That's the word. Yeah. It's just.
I have hope for the last episode of the season. I'll put it to you that way. They could pull it all together by episode 8.
They could. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I actually think, if I'm going to give a defense to it, I think IMAX stuff hurt it. I think that because they were trying too hard to be this IMAX movie instead of a human story of Inhumans, which is what they should have been on TV. Because you could have really done something like, so if they didn't have to make this be this big epic thing, you could have actually had a lot more in this first episode about the conflicts in Black Bolt's own life. You know, how heavy is the head that wears the crown? You could have actually let Black Bolt speak. And here's something I would have told you. And actually the way to do it, because I actually was watching this a few times, and I would hear someone talking, and I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be Black Bolt's inner monologue. You could actually give Black Bolt an inner monologue and have him be there, you know, unmoving and unspeaking, but have this thought process, you know? Like I said, there would be ways you could do it that weren't the way they did it.
You know who had a good inner monologue? BoJack Horseman season 4, where we find out why he drinks the way he does.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a great episode.
At you. You're an idiot. Don't leave her here with
and then he lies to his sister because she's the same way.
Yep.
Does it ever go away? It's like, sure it does. Went away for the grandmom. Oh.
I don't really recommend lobotomies for everybody.
No, I don't recommend lobotomies for anyone. And you know what? I wonder how accurate of a depiction of a lobotomy that was. We have so little understanding of what a lobotomy is, but people who have gotten lobotomies did go on to like live lives. Mm-hmm. So you think that, contrary to what you see in One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nuts, where you're basically turned into a vegetable. Yeah. I think actually what happens is you just become separated from your emotions, which, you know, I mean, not a lobectomy. That's just something people always misinterpret about a lobotomy. But it's actually just about severing nerve endings, and so that there is not this communication in your brain, which is actually done a full hemispherical lobotomy now as a treatment for seizures that actually works very well, you know, and does not seem to have the side effects that frontal lobotomies do, which is good because it wouldn't be worth it. Although they do have that weird thing that now, because their two halves of their brain can't communicate, if you put something in their left hand because they don't have a speech center on that side of their brain, they can't tell you what it is. And, you know, it has to be in their right hand for them to tell you what it is. You look it up online. It's weird.
The brain is a mysterious thing still, no matter how much we think we have it mapped.
Who are you talking about? The left side of their brain and the right side of their brain can't communicate? The writers of Inhumans? What?
Yeah. Oh, please.
One hand doesn't watch the other hand. It was way too much.
Yeah.
We got bucked.
But it just like I said, this, and again, like I said, to me, this makes. Here's what I'm going to say. You know what I always defended Iron Fist with? That Iron Fist is a hard character to make a modern interpretation of. I don't think the Inhumans are. I think the Inhumans should have been a very easy story to tell. I think it should have been, and it should have been about the story of the Inhumans, not whiz-bang superheroics, which they don't even do that much of.
Mm-hmm. They just take a vacation to Hawaii.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I mean, it's like, you know,
do some shoplifting.
Like the biggest superhero things they do are like, you know, well, I mean, yeah, so I mean, I haven't even gotten to the scene where, at least I don't think I did. Did I get to the scene where, what's his name gets beat up or not, or does that happen later? When Black Bolt gets punched and blows up the cop car. Is that when he first gets there, or?
Well, he gets there. He gets there, runs around for a while, then he shoplifts a suit.
Okay,
and then
so yeah,
as
so
he's
I haven't
leaving,
gotten to it yet.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to it yet. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, but it's like that. I know that scene's in there. I know Gorgon kicks some stuff, and we get to see a bunch of math in the air for Karnak. And that's cool, but you know, they neither do good human stories or whiz-bang superheroics. And they wind up in this weird middle ground where they're not doing anything. And they're doing it poorly. They're not doing anything, and they're doing it bad. And that is my opinion on the Inhumans. And maybe once I finish it, I'll have an epiphany. Maybe next episode it's going to be, oh, now I see what they were doing. And like I said, I think they could redeem it. I think they could pull it off. But right now, this is way below Iron Fist for me.
Oh, yeah, because take your notes, because next week, not only will we have Superconnectivity on the marathon, but also you and Kenneth are going to sit down and talk Inhumans for, an hour? Oh,
God help us. Okay. Yeah, sure, why not?
Hey, I don't care if you crap on it for an hour. That's all they'll give us,
I'm sure.
Hey.
Yeah, because I'll talk in circles about how bad this is if you need me to. It is just... it hurt. It hurt to watch it. That's what I will say. It really hurts to watch it. Okay. That's you want to wrap this up? Is there anything else you want to talk about this week? Was there any good news in the world of Marvel? Well, like I said, to me, the good news in the world of Marvel is that Disney made ABC keep Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That Disney actually has this commitment to this concept in a way that is bigger than just what one network thinks.
Yeah, but if Disney's forcing them to keep Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., are they going to do the same thing with Inhumans?
Well, I think they might say just run. I think here's what I'm going to say. I think they're going to say just run the last freaking 6 episodes. We will never speak of this again, but just put them out there so we at least get it in canon what we wanted to say in this show. Because I do think there will be canonical points that are made that are going to come back in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and in the larger Netflix and Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I think the coming of the Inhumans is going to be important. And I think that is why they're doing it. It's sort of like, to go with Defenders, the reason you had to have Iron Fist, because you can't get to the Defenders, and more importantly, Power Man and Iron Fist as a TV show without actually having an Iron Fist. And it's such a slog to actually establish who this character is and what their dynamic is and what the role they're going to play in the story. That, it does make you wonder, was it worth it? But once we've made our commitment to the idea, because I think what happens is like, oh, we're going to do Power Man, and Power Man's a hit. So, we'll do Power Man. We got to get Iron Fist in there. And no one bothered to say, really, why?
Yeah.
Why do we need an Iron Fist?
I mean, after that Iron Fist solo series, I think I'd much rather see a Colleen Wing Misty Knight show.
Well, yeah, I think we all would. Although Colleen Wing didn't come off that well in any of these things either. And, Misty Knight and Colleen Wing kind of got short-shrifted in Defenders and in Iron Fist. And
honestly, all I want is a Kingpin Netflix TV show with Vincent D'Onofrio. That's all I want.
Don't we all want that?
All I want for Christmas is my Vincent D'Onofrio.
You could have Daredevil in there for an episode or two. You could bring the Punisher in there for an episode or two.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, where's your Netflix MCU tie-in? Yeah.
I am just so worried about the Punisher.
I'm not. It looks good, actually, and I've heard good things about it.
Why won't they release the release date? They keep playing with it. It's like, it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
They're probably trying to fiddle around to make it something with their logarithm, because they release certain things certain times so that it looks good for the budget or something like that.
Yeah,
what I can grasp from Netflix for their quarterly reviews or something like that.
My biggest worry with the Punisher is always just the fact that the Punisher is always bad at his job.
No fun of it though.
Well, he's not bad. I mean, he can kill off all those lower tier guys, but you can't kill off Vincent D'Onofrio because then we don't have Vincent D'Onofrio anymore.
Cannon fodder. It's fun. That's why I like when Arrow killed people. I had no problem with it.
Oh, just what we want to hear from the woman who's picking up her bow again.
I don't mind. My problem with Arrow killing people was never that he killed people. It was that he was killing
the henchmen. Yeah.
Well, no, but not like he wasn't killing like members of Hydra. He was killing guys that just got hired for a security detail by some other millionaire. Sort of like he had hired Diggle. You know?
Well,
He was
in
killing Diggle
fairness,
every
we learned
week.
in season 5 he did kill some of the big names in the book. So, and that came back to haunt him.
but
Yeah, they showed he killed some big names too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's fine then, but I'm just saying, it's like in that I just remember it's like he's shooting it's just after they introduced Diggle, and it's just and he's going after again like some tycoon guy, not some mafia kingpin, not any of these Russian mobsters that he come out with his whole
episode like with the Huntress and stuff. Okay, it's okay. He never made it that far. We do get into that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's just killing rent-a-cops like Diggle. And it's like, these are not people you need to murder. The actual bad guy that he's going after in that scene. And it blew my mind.
And to that point, that's why Person of Interest is the best live-action adaptation of Batman, because he sent them to prisons. He killed them. He sent them to prisons in Mexico. Yeah. So that's even worse than American prison, supposedly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but, I'm sure Inhumans is going to be important at the end of the day. It's going to be important for its canon, not for what it does.
It'll be a cautionary tale. Do not do this.
Do not hire this Scott Buck guy.
I was going to say, Scott Buck, you're fired.
He's not he's not in charge of the second season of Iron Man.
New t-shirts on Capes and Lunatics t-shirt store.
Oh my god.
Is he, because I know they approved a second season of Iron Fist for reasons.
And we're getting it. Nobody asked for it, but we're getting it.
Are they letting this guy do it again? Because this will be the guy's second one that he's screwed up.
Well, they already signed the contract, from what I understand. So,
no, might be worth it to pay to get out of it. Okay, because not for nothing. This is just bad, and I think you have to blame this guy. I think you have to say, you're not good at your job, sir. And you need to find another line of work.
Like I said, this is a big problem. I mean, I don't think Charlie was waiting for an Iron Fist show, but in Humans, that's what Charlie's been waiting for. And if you don't have Charlie Esser on board, who are you going to have?
Yeah, and they're going to say, he was too big of a nerd. That was his problem. He put too much thought into the Inhumans. So he has.
How about you hire Charlie? How about that?
Yeah, how about you hire somebody who puts thought into it? Come on as a
consultant. Come on.
Yeah, heck, man, Get
your business cards ready, Charlie. I got you.
Okay, yeah. I'd love to be headhunted, man. Is there like a LinkedIn for nerd jobs? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there is.
Yeah, it's like I know
but
more.
Don't do LinkedIn, dude. Don't do it. You will get email every 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes for the first 4 months of nothing, like just randomness.
Yeah. Anyway, but I put a lot of thought into this, and I think about who these characters should be, what actually works story-wise, and I am disappointed not that you didn't use my ideas, but that you didn't surprise me with the ideas you used. It was just too dang pedestrian, and that's the thing. It's like Marvel always thinks of better ideas than I come up with, which is why they've been good. Now they're coming up with worse ideas than me. And that's a problem for them. And you know what? That's not good. That's not good.
All right. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. I've beat up Marvel enough today.
I love it.
I'm going to go read some DC superheroes girls, and hopefully that will make me either love them or hate DC more.
That's like at least the third or fourth time he's mentioned it this morning.
It's got a great cover, and it was free. Oh, I see. It's about Harley Quinn Day. So this was their Harley Quinn Day. That's what it was tied into. Okay, I get it now. Now I know why it was free. So yeah,
you hit Charlie Esser's sweet spot. Have decent story, and it's free.
Ooh,
it's free. It's for me.
Hey, that's why I watched Inhumans. It was free.
Now talk about people that paid for it.
Oh.
Like we talked about for the Harley Quinn and Batman movie.
Oh.
You paid for that.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Good night, everybody. Oh, I'm the one that actually ends the show. So, oh, I need a break. Phil, if you would like to talk to you about why did you pay for all this content, where can they find you?
If you would like to talk about any of this we discussed today, or about the upcoming next week Southgate Media Group online marathon, where you can hear Charlie Esser poop on Inhumans even more, at least twice next week.
Or maybe say it got so much better by the third episode.
Maybe, but I mean, you could hear all of our Capes and Lunatics shows next week on that online marathon right here on the Capes and Lunatics YouTube channel. On Superconnectivity, Scott Buck's least favorite show. You can email me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. And get a hold of us for any Capes and Lunatics business. 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES.
And Lilith the Lunatic, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me live tweeting when the Arrowverse goes live in just a week and a half, it looks like, about, at Lilith Hellfire or at Adventures in FG. You can find me at Adventures in FG on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, please be sure to check out my website, adventuresinfangirling.com. Really excited for the online marathon. We're doing the Newcastle Crew meets the Wade's World crossover. And they have more in common than you think. So just wait for it.
Ooh. Okay, and of course, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, you can do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog. And hey, there is a blog post up now about Rick and Morty. So it actually makes sense that it is superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. And of course, you can always follow me on the Twitters as I live tweet. Because I gotta. Inhumans. But I'll also live tweet the Orville, which is a joy. Honestly, actually, my hardest time with live tweeting Orville is just I can't, because it's just so good. It's just, the better a show is, the harder it is to live tweet, because you just want to watch the dang show. Mm-hmm. And you can follow me there at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEssser. Look for the two E's in the middle for quality. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for connecting with us. Please, once again, good night.
Good night.
Getting bucked. Oh,
Name of the episode. There you go. You've been bucked.
Just wait.
At least we got to talk about Hugh Hefner, so it wasn't all bad.
Hey, Charlie gets to do it twice next week, so he's really gonna fuck us.